DreAllDay.com.
Now tuned into the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day, to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative, which is the go-getter energy that moves any one of us, including yourself, to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And then we put all this together into a series of frameworks, approaches, insights, strategies, and techniques all underneath the umbrella of one unifying philosophy that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. And today's topic is have to get things done. Emphasis on the first two words in that four-word phrase, have to. Before we get into this, I remind you of two things. First of all, my text message number down below in the description. Secondly, also down below in the description is a link to Work on Your Game University. You want to work with me directly. You would like to get access to all of our courses, all of our trainings. You want to have me as your direct coach. You know you need to invest in yourself to take things to another level, and you're just trying to figure out where, when, and how you're going to do it. Your problems are solved. Just go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Link is down below in the description of wherever you are consuming this. Getting into the topic here, having to get things done. This episode here, this masterclass episode is all about getting more done, which almost everybody I talk to wants to get more stuff done, different stuff, but more stuff. And most people want to increase their productivity. Most people want to be more efficient, meaning getting more done in less time or getting more done with the same resources. And thus, you want to increase your overall effectiveness, which means you're getting more of the important things done, the things that matter done. And all of this should lead to, theoretically, you being more happy in your life because you get more things done, accomplish more, make more money, achieve more, move forward faster, etc. Most of the people I talk to and hear from are looking to get more done and get more important things done every single day. I'm assuming you're one of those people. So if I'm correct, then what I'm about to share here today is directed specifically at and made for you. Point number one. Topic, once again, is have to get things done. Number one, pay attention to construction projects that you see anywhere that you go. This is not a metaphor. I mean literal construction projects. When you see construction happening somewhere, notice it, especially if it's somewhere that you see on a regular basis. Like if you take a walk and there's a construction project, just notice it over time. Or if it's on your daily commute to or from work or school, notice the construction project. Here are some things I want you to note. Notice, first of all, that construction projects almost always get completed. Very rarely do you see a construction project not get finished. They almost always get finished. And there's a reason they always get finished. Actually, there are several reasons why they get finished. And you can borrow from these because many of us start projects that we never finish. So I want you to take some hints from projects that always get finished and compare and contrast what they do versus what you do. Okay, here it is. One is that there's a lot of money involved in a construction project, which means that money forces people to get things done. Number two is that there are a lot of people working on the job, and those people need to be given work to do so they're not sitting around doing nothing while getting paid. Next is the investors who put the money up to make the project happen. They want to make their money back. So whoever is involved with making the project happen understands that there's some pressure on them to get the project done because there's some people who put a lot of money into making sure that the project got completed. So, hey, let's make sure this thing actually gets finished. And they want to open or build the business or start selling off the units in the condo, whatever it is. These same principles can apply to things that you do. Everything that I just told you, and I only told you three things. You can apply these to anything that you do. Number one, you need to understand the value of your investment, which is your money or your time or your both. Number two is that since there are people involved, even if there's only one person, that person being you, that person needs something to do. Human beings need something to do. When humans have nothing to do, we end up wasting away and basically wasting our potential and wasting the gift that we've been given if we have nothing to do. So giving yourself something to do and making yourself busy and active actually makes you feel more alive. You feel more energy when you are doing stuff than when you're doing nothing. Simple as that. When you're doing nothing, you feel tired. When you're doing stuff, you feel energized. Interestingly enough, right? Even though many of us tend to think that if we relax, then we'll get more energy. Actually, you get more energy by doing stuff, not by relaxing. And you need to have the mindset of the sooner I get this done, the sooner I can move on to the next thing. Again, construction projects. The sooner we get this building finished, we can move on to the next building. As soon as we get this building finished, now we can open the business inside this building. As soon as we get this business finished, we can open it up and let people move in and start living in the apartments, whatever the situation may be. So these same principles, again, you can apply them to yourself. Understand that your time is worth even more than your money. And understanding any work you do should be producing some sort of measurable result. It may not all be measurable, and there needs to be something in there that's measurable to hold you and it accountable to the job that needs to be done. And understand the sooner you get things done, not the sooner you get things started, but the sooner you get things done, the sooner you can move on to the next thing. Also note that construction projects usually have the full plan laid out before the first shovel of dirt has ever been excavated from the grounds. For even one shovel is, that picture where it'll be like the city councilor or the mayor will come with the hard hat on, they'll take a shovel of dirt as a ceremonial groundbreaking of the project that's happening. Now, before that even happens, the whole project has already has to be laid out as a plan, because that's the only way to get the city to approve of it, and that's the only way they can start construction. That's the only way you get the mayor or the city councilman to show up, take that damn picture. Also note that construction projects, again, as I just said, the whole plan is laid out. All right, before anything happens, the complete plans are explained in detail. Every step of the project is scheduled ahead of time. Even if things don't always go according to schedule, at least there is a schedule. Did everybody hear that? This is important. Even if things don't go according to schedule, at least there is a schedule. All of these can apply to your work. All right, none of you is precluded from doing any of this. Point number 2. Today's topic, once again, is have to get things done. Number 2, when you have a full schedule of things that must get done at specific times, you usually have more energy because you have no resources to waste. Also, because you have the law of inertia working for you. When you're in momentum, it's easier to just keep doing stuff than it is to stop doing stuff. So when you have a full schedule of things that you have to get done, your energy's up because, again, you cannot waste resources because your calendar is telling you, your schedule is telling you right there, hey, we don't have any time to waste because you got to go from this to this to this to this, back to back to back to back. Imagine if your day was scheduled out that way. And if you think about any days in which you have had things scheduled that way, don't you notice that you got a whole lot of things done and there wasn't much idle time? And at the end of the day, maybe you were a little fatigued, but it's not like you came crashing down and fell to pieces just because you had a day like that. It actually might have energized you. Some of you are energized by situations like that. Why? Because you didn't allow yourself any gaps in the schedule. As they say, idle hands are the devil's workshop. When you're doing nothing, you tend to be drained of your energy. When you're doing something, you tend to get more and more energy. Again, it's easier to get more of what we're already doing than it is to try to get something that we don't have or that we're not currently using. This is a form of the law of inertia. Translating this idle hands of the devil's workshop into simple everyday terms, when you have nothing to do, the law of entropy steps in and usually makes things worse. And you are one of the things that it makes worse. Remember that this is a scientific law. This is not my personal theory. So if you leave empty space in your schedule, that empty space usually gets used up by what? Any of you who has empty space in your schedule right now, and if you don't know what I mean by that, any of you who does not have your day fully scheduled out from start to finish, that means that I'm talking about you. That means you have some empty space in your schedule somewhere, somehow. Any of you who has empty space in your schedule, okay, it usually gets used up by nonsense that is not helping you get better, which means it's making you worse. Because in life, there is no neutral. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. So anything that's not making you better, and you can tell is making you better, then is making you worse by default. There's no other option. So you fight against this natural inclination of entropy with standards and parameters that block off the entropy. You do that with filling up your schedule, giving yourself plans that you cannot break, and holding appointments with yourself the same way you hold appointments with your clients, the same way you hold an appointment with an important business contact, your boss, or if you had to go to court and they said be there at 8 o'clock on Thursday, you wouldn't just show up at 9:30 because you felt like it. All right, you got to show up when you're told to show up, otherwise it's going to be a problem. You wouldn't just blow these things off that I just mentioned. You wouldn't blow any of them off. You would blow things off with yourself before you blow things off with another person. I'm suggesting to you that you hold yourself to that same standard of holding your own meetings and showing up to your own the same way you would show up to somebody else's. Set meetings with yourself, put them on your calendar. Don't blow those off either the same way you don't blow them off with other people. People who get things done tend to operate this way. And people who don't get things done, or people who get things done but always wish that they could get more things done, actually that's not a good way of saying it, because most of the people I know who are highly productive people are always thinking about how can I be even more productive? How can I get even more done? Those who don't get a whole lot done and are mad at themselves for not even reaching your baseline, not even getting to the average of what you want done, here's the big difference right here, is that all you got to do is start setting appointments with yourself, set them in your calendar the same way you set an appointment with a client, or if you had to go see your parole officer or there was something else business-wise that you had to do, you had to be on time for, you had to catch a plane, set appointments with yourself the exact same way, and you'll see your productivity going up because now you are eliminating wasted time. The biggest challenge a lot of people have when it comes to productivity is that they waste too much time. It's not that you're doing the wrong thing. It's not that you're not good at doing the thing. It's just that your time is being wasted so often that no matter how good you are, you just run out of time. People who get things done operate this way naturally. Point number 3. Today's topic, once again, is how to get things done. You want to get things done, here's exactly what you do. Number 3, busy people who have lots of things to do tend to get the most stuff done. Again, it seems like a paradoxical concept, but when you think about it, it's 100% accurate. We do tend to do more of what we are already doing. This is just human nature. Whatever you're already doing, you'll do more of it. Again, it's the law of inertia in action. Whatever you're doing consistently, it's easier to keep doing that same thing. So the busier a person is, the more they get things done because they are already in the momentum of doing stuff and don't need to get themselves into that space like a person who is doing nothing would maybe need to. There's also human nature, as I've already explained here 3 times. We tend to follow people who are already going somewhere. So when someone appears to be going somewhere, we want to follow them rather than trying to get someone who's doing nothing to start moving. All right, which one is easier? Follow somebody who's already moving or try to get someone who's doing nothing to start moving. Much easier to follow the person who's already moving. So a person who has a lot of things to do already, who takes on something else, understands they have a limited amount of resources with which to work. The limited resources, specifically their time. So a person who has something scheduled from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, then they have another appointment from 2:30 to 3:30. They have a little window of 30 minutes between 2 o'clock and 2:30 that if you give them something to do that you think might take 45 minutes, notice them getting it done in 30. Why? Because they have no choice but to get it done in 30 because they have somewhere else to be at 2:30. You see, if you didn't have another appointment till 4 o'clock, guess what? You would take till 4 o'clock to get it done. Now, what's the difference between you and that other person? That it took you an hour and a half to get it done. It took them only 30 minutes. Are they 3 times better than you? Are they 3 times faster than you? No. It's just their day and the way that they've structured, keyword structured their day, gives them only 30 minutes to get it done. Parkinson's law says the task will expand or contract given the amount of time allotted for it to get done. So when you get those things done in 90 minutes, because you gave yourself 90 minutes, somebody else gets it done in 30 because they gave themselves 30. There's the hint. The hint is you need to give yourself a stricter deadline and put pressure on yourself to get things done faster. And you will find that you can get things done faster. You just never force yourself to do so. This is Parkinson's law. A task will expand or contract given the amount of resources available within which to get those things done. A person who already has a lot going on usually can get a whole lot more done. Give yourself less time and you will get things done in less time. Give yourself less time, you will get things done in less time. Compressing time frames is the essence of getting more life out of your life. You want to get more life out of your life, you must compress time frames. And compressing time frames simply means take what you were expected to take an hour to do and see if you can get it done in 20 minutes. That's what it means. Recapping today's class, which is having to get things done. It's all about getting more things done, increasing productivity, efficiency, and thus overall effectiveness and happiness in life. Point number 1, pay attention to construction projects anywhere you go. And I mean literal construction projects. Notice that there's always a plan before they start. Notice that there is money involved, so they understand the urgency of the situation. Notice that there are other people involved, and those people had to be put to work and told what exactly to do, which is why you got to have a plan, the structure, and the system in place before you even start. And notice that they need to move on to the next thing from that construction project, which is why there is a sense of urgency for getting this one done so we can move on to the next one. Because as soon as we get this building done, now we can open the shopping center, or we can open the condo, or we can sell the building, or whatever the next thing is. But the job has to be done in order for us to do those next things. And this is why you want to focus on getting things done, not just getting things started. A lot of people focus on starting, but they don't focus on finishing. So our goal over here is to finish, not just to start. Number 2, when you have a full schedule of things that must get done at specific times, you find yourself having more energy because you can't waste your resources. And when you are scheduled out back to back, you don't have any resources to space or resources to waste or time to spare. And this is how people end up getting more things done. So there's a hint in there with all of you. And again, you want to set meetings with yourself and don't blow those meetings off. Same way you wouldn't blow off a meeting that you were having with an important client or an interested prospect, or if you had to appear in front of a probation officer, you wouldn't just blow off that meeting because you know there'd be a penalty for that. Hold yourself to that same standard. Show yourself that same respect. And number 3, busy people who have lots of things to do tend to get the most stuff done. Why? Because they don't have resources to waste. People who don't have anything to waste don't waste. People who have stuff to waste usually end up wasting it. Why? Parkinson's law: a task will expand or contract given the amount of resources made available for it to be completed. Give yourself 20 minutes, you'll get it done in 20 minutes. Give yourself 45 minutes, it'll take you 45 minutes. That's the magic key right there. If you want to get more life out of your life, you want to compress time frames, all you need to do is compress the amount of time you are allowing yourself with which to achieve everything you say you want to achieve, and hold yourself accountable to that standard, and have yourself held even more accountable. Get other people involved in the process. Speaking of such, go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Have me as your accountability coach for your personal stuff and for your business stuff, so that your time frames get compressed, and all the things that you are doing, even if you're doing the right stuff, we start getting those right things done faster, sooner, quicker, more effectively, and more efficiently. That's going to change your entire life. Go to workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre, all